What's up guys, it's Zach, and for today's video, we're gonna talk about why Geoff Johns' Green Lantern run is hands down the best Green Lantern run ever written. But first, let's talk about what happened to the character just before this run. I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that DC made Hal Jordan a villain in 1994's Emerald Twilight, but I thought it was a genius move. Hal Jordan might be a hero, but at the end of the day, he's only human. And almost anyone would have gone insane after an alien warlord blew up their entire city and killed 7 million innocent people. Just imagine instantly losing everyone and everything you've ever known. All of the people you grew up with, the friends you were hanging out with last week, and even the city you've spent your whole life in. Everything. Let's be realistic here. This is way too big of a trauma to just let go and move on from. And it's at this low point that a desperate Hal Jordan uses his ring to recreate Coast City and all of its people, which instantly made him feel better, but it was only a temporary fix. Because eventually, his ring runs out of energy and everyone and everything disappears around him. And before he's even had a minute to process losing everything for a second time, he's rudely confronted by a guardian, who instead of having any sympathy for what he's just gone through, who instead of thanking Hal for everything he's done for the Green Lantern Corps, instead tells him that he's broken the rules of the Guardians by using the ring for selfish gain and threatens to take it away. And just like I would have lost it, Hal Jordan absolutely lost it. And unfortunately, this led to one bad thing happening after another and the situation spiraling out of control. But even at his worst, Hal Jordan was still a hero. Every single thing that he did was for the sake of resurrecting Coast City and the millions of lives taken by Mongol. And in order to make that happen, he was willing to pay any price, even being hated, attacked, and losing all of his former friends. But when push came to shove, Hal Jordan didn't hesitate for a second. He bravely sacrificed himself to stop the Star Eater and restart the dying sun. A heroic act that saved billions. And after this death, he was chosen as the new host of the Spectre, which gave him a chance to repent for his sins before he was finally resurrected in Green Lantern Rebirth. And this is where Geoff Johns' run really begins. Even to this day, no other era of Green Lantern is even close to as good as Geoff Johns. I mean, the guy practically saved Green Lantern, if we're gonna be honest here. Because let's be real, it's not like DC killed off the character for selling too many books in the 90s. And even though I can sit here all day and yap about how good Geoff Johns' Green Lantern run is, I know you're all busy, so I'll just focus on the 3 things that I love the most. The first thing that I love about this run is how Sinestro's written. Geoff Johns transformed the villain from another generic bad guy who wants to take over the world into the best kind of hero. The kind of hero willing to do anything for the greater good. And it feels so much more like how the character's supposed to be written that at this point, I honestly consider Geoff Johns the character's original creator. I mean, sure, this version of Sinestro is still an egomaniac who thinks he's better than everybody else. He still has a bad temper and still loves being in control more than the Pope loves money, but there's also another side to him. He really is the incorruptible person he's constantly bragging he is. That rare type of person willing to give up anything for their beliefs, even their own life. And we see this play out when even after being captured and scheduled for execution, Sinestro laughs in Hal Jordan's face and tells him that he won, finally confessing that everything he did was to make the Green Lantern Corps more powerful, including creating the Yellow Lantern Corps and starting the War of Light. Things he only did in order to force the Guardians to remove the failsafe they built into all of their rings. A failsafe that stopped Green Lanterns from being able to use deadly force even in self-defense, which basically made them useless against any real danger. Just imagine if it was illegal for police to use lethal force even if somebody was going on a rampage. How effective do you think they would still be at enforcing order or protecting civilians? Because in my opinion, the real world starts looking like the Purge in less than 24 hours. And Sinestro saved the day once again when Voldoom was going to destroy the universe. If it wasn't for Sinestro absorbing Parallax and rushing over to save Hal Jordan, there's a 100% chance that Voldoom would have won. And after defeating Voldoom, instead of using Parallax's powers to crown himself king of the universe, Sinestro decided to save Ganthet and Sade, then fake his own death, choosing to protect the universe in secret as Taurus, keeper of the Book of Oa. Each and every time Sinestro was given a chance to do the selfish thing, he did the opposite. He never once made the mistake of putting his own goals or pride above the good of the universe. Unlike Hal Jordan, who cared more about proving he was right than whether or not Sinestro made Korrigar safer for its citizens. Or the Guardians, who care more about looking like the good guys than actually protecting the universe. I mean, seriously, if the Guardians really put that failsafe into their rings because they thought that all life was sacred, then why didn't they ever punish themselves for killing trillions with their little manhunter robots? I'm sorry, but that goes way past being an accident you can apologize for. If they weren't hypocrites, they would have thrown themselves in their own jails. The second thing that I love about this run is what Geoff Johns did with the emotional color spectrum. I normally hate it when the new guy retcons the work of the original writer, but Geoff Johns did an amazing job. Unlike most writers, he didn't try to completely one-up the original work and kept as much of the original continuity as possible. And the things that he did change didn't contradict established continuity. For example, if Will could be collected and used as a weapon, then why couldn't any of the other emotions? And so, in my opinion, introducing those 8 new Lantern Corps was a genius move. But everyone and their grandmother has good ideas. What matters most is the execution. And Geoff Johns' execution was flawless. Even with all those new cores, you never get the feeling there's too many lanterns reading this run. Unlike now, when you've got almost a half dozen Green Lanterns packed on Earth like a can of sardines. Without even including the members of the other Lantern Corps, on one planet, you have Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Jessica Cruz, and Simon Baz. And don't forget about Guy Gardner, Kelly Quintella, and Sojourner Mullen. What the heck happened to only assigning 1 or 2 lanterns to a sector? And finally, the third thing that I love about this run is how Geoff Johns really made the Green Lantern Corps feel like a real military police force. It all feels so realistic, from how Green Lanterns are given a set of core values to uphold, and how members who violate those values face a military trial, to how Central Command takes care of everything, from assigning weapons to hosting recruitment drives and even rookie boot camp. But even more important than all of that is how Geoff Johns updated both what the power rings were and what they could do. He made the power ring feel more like a piece of advanced alien tech than magical jewelry. He turned the ring into an AI supercomputer that can not only translate alien languages in real time, but also scan and analyze anything, send voice messages millions of miles across space, and so much more. He even gave us an estimate of how much it would cost to replace such an advanced weapon. In this case, 177 million American dollars. But considering this was written in the early 2000s, that number would be a lot closer to 500 million today. Sheesh. Talk about pricey. I guess it's not cheap to be a Green Lantern, huh? But then again, it's not like Hal Jordan had to float the bill. It was all covered by the ballers of the universe. I mean Guardians. The Guardians of the universe. No wonder they hate Hal Jordan so much. Imagine having to spend hundreds of millions of dollars every time this reckless cowboy destroys another lantern. I know, he'd be my least favorite employee as well. All in all, this run is a masterpiece. And I'd even go as far as saying that if I could only recommend one run in comics to a new reader, then this would be the one. This is the best drawn, most consistently written, and new audience-friendly era of not only Green Lantern, but in all of comics. It balances action, character development, and good artwork better than anything else I've ever read. And so, if you're a fan of superheroes and haven't read this run, I highly recommend it. And for those of you who've already read this run, what do you guys think? Do you agree that this run is legendary? Or do you think I'm giving Geoff Johns too much credit here? And if it isn't Geoff Johns' run, then which is your favorite? Make sure you guys let me know in the comments below. And if you've watched this far into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been nice hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. And now, with the main video out of the way, I want to talk about something cool I've been working on for a while now. I'm building a brand new comic book universe called Universe M13. And just to be clear, this isn't another crappy fan project. As you'll see, I'm dead serious about publishing books that could sit on the same shelves as Marvel and DC. But of course, we're gonna be less corporate. No more constant retcons, no more characters being written by SJWs who hate them, and no more bringing politics into fiction. Comics should be an escape from the real world, not another place where we're reminded how messed up everything is. But I can't make this happen on my own, and so I'd really appreciate you signing up for updates about the launch. And it'd be even cooler if you could follow the Kickstarter page. The links will be in the video description as well as in the pinned comment. And I know some of you have supported campaigns that didn't deliver, but I can guarantee you that won't happen here. I'm gonna deliver exactly what I promised, exactly when I promised it. Not only on this launch, but on the next and the 10 after that. Starting first with comics, then moving into animation, before giving live action a shot. If you ever get the feeling there's never anything new to read, watch, or play, then sign up now. Because me too. I promise, if things go my way, you'll never be bored again.